Kia ora tātou, welcome back to the Wargaming Den. This week's little battle I've got for you is just a solo game of O-Groiup as I continue to try and figure out the rules for myself. This week I've painted up some Fallschrimjager in 20mm from AB Miniatures. You might have seen I've posted them on a little update earlier in the week. So I'm using the Fallschrimjager against my AB 20mm British infantry I painted up a while back. So the game's theme to be set somewhere in Italy, late 43, early 44, as the Allies approach the Gustav line. Originally I was going to have 3 companies each, but after I got a couple of turns into the game I thought I don't actually want to run that many troops, so instead we'll make them reduced strength companies of battalions of 2 companies each. So British have got 2 Vickers medium machine gun sections, a 6-pounder, 2 Humber armoured cars and 2 Sherman tanks. I painted up the Shermans the other day so that I had some ready for this battle. And the Fallschrimjager, they've got their battalion HQ with an observer and mortars, also 2 rifle companies, 2 medium machine gun sections and 2 Stug 3G. So the Fallschrimjager are defending, they're 15 points and the British have 20 points. Okay, so let's have a look at the table. There's a bit of a hill that runs along here. You can just see the outline of it, and another ridge line here. The British deploy basically in a line across here up to a foot-inch. So they got 6 combat patrols which are scattered across the board. The Germans got 5. They've got one there, another one just on the edge of the wood, one behind this building. I think there's one around here, and the last one was over here. So British deployed a couple of platoons on table as well, just after this shot was taken, and the Germans had 2 ambushes. So decided one ambush was going to be in the woods here, the other ambush was going to be up here in this tree line. So the initial objectives, the British, this company wanted to capture this building over here. The other one decided to go for the woods, and then hoping that one or other would be able then to advance on the village on the hill, which was their main objective for the battle. So yeah, so that's a shot of the battlefield. And here we have the dice rolls for the initial bombardment. So Germans are yellow dice and the British are orange. So Germans got 2 1s, which means that their reserves are interdicted for 2 turns. You have to roll to see whether or not they can come on. The 2s, 3s and 4s, what do they mean? Combat patrols. So 5 combat patrols, and the 5s are 2 ambushes. British got 2 6s, which means 2 units deployed on table. They got 6 combat patrols, and the 1 means that the Germans remove 1 infantry platoon, which was meant to be in the reserve company when I was having 3 companies in the game, and then I promptly forgot about it after I decided to only have 2 companies aside. Never mind. Orders for turn 1. British got 9 standard orders. Germans got 3 battalion orders, 4 standard orders and 2 that didn't count, but the Germans won the dice roll for initiative and they took the first turn. Turn 1. The Germans got the first turn. Didn't do a great deal, just moved combat patrols forward, and they deployed a platoon in that ruined building there. British have advanced their combat patrols around on their left flank. Humber took a shot at the German platoon that had deployed, and the mortars also took a pot shot but missed. So not a great deal of action on turn 1. And here we've got the dice rolls for turn 2. So the British, 2 orders that don't take place, 4 regular orders, 3 battalion orders. Germans got 1 battalion order, so they're both on 6 now. And the Germans got 7 regular orders and 1 didn't count for anything. Again, at this stage, I was still intending to bring on a 3rd reserve company each, so I'm still using 9 dice, but it changes at some point during the battle. And initiative was a tie for a piece, so the Germans took the first turn because it's just a special rule. However, I forgot it's meant to be 2d6, so again, just learning the rules as I go. I corrected it later in the game. It's all just a learning experience. And here's a bit of an overview from turn 2. So the Germans deployed a unit into, or platoon into this ruin from a combat patrol. They also ambushed here at the combat patrol but missed it, and the mortar fire ranged in on the Humber over here and put a hit on that. In the British turn, the Shermans advanced onto the table. The infantry advanced across this field here. This platoon of infantry with an attached medium machine gun, they deployed after the combat patrol that had been around here, moved backwards out of range, and then it allowed them to deploy. That's why I've got 2 orders dice there. These blue markers I use whenever I use an order, just makes it nice and visible for me on the table. So the British are trying to enfilade this wood here before they put an assault in, and then from there hopefully be able to advance up to the larger wood. But we will see how that plan plays out. Right, the orders dies for turn 3. The British 3 ones, which meant that one of their companies was hesitant, turned out to be the one on the left flank. They got 4 regular orders and a battalion order. Germans 2 didn't count, and all the rest were standard orders. And I think once again the Germans got initiative. End of turn 3. 2 Stugs came on table, and they managed to destroy one of the Shermans that had arrived last turn. The other Sherman got hit by the battalion mortars that were still ranged in on the Humber. The Humber was also damaged this time. Then it rallied some of the pins off. The other company is hesitant, so they just conducted some fire at the Germans in this little copse here, and they actually did 2 casualties on them, and otherwise the Germans are just still using their markers, their combat patrols. So on to turn 4. Okay, British, I've cut down to 8 dice now. British, 1 or dice doesn't count. They've got 7 regular orders. Germans get 1 battalion order, 7 regular orders. That wasn't actually a 1, it was a 2 or a 3. I just moved them into a pile and must have knocked it. And once again, the Germans have initiative and will keep the pressure on the British. Germans again got the initiative on turn 4. Stug knocked out a Sherman. Humber got knocked out by the mortars, second damage result. Germans put a few pins on the infantry units over here. Deployed a platoon into that wood. That heavy machine gun is the sole survivor out of the platoon that was in the woods. They were victims of a close assault, so the British have pushed their way forward to that wood. So things are looking interesting. British have run out of tanks, but at the end of the turn, the 6-pounder came on
and deployed. I'm not sure if I could deploy in fire, but I let it do that, and it managed to put a hit on the stug top of the hill there, and it is now damaged. So turn 5. Oh, and sorry, there was also a foobar. British took their first foobar, and so they've got 1 dice less next turn.
Orders for turn 5. British got 7 orders. Germans rolled 4 sixes, so they're 4 battalion orders. I think the battalion orders are all full though, and 4 regular ones. And again, the initiative stayed with the Germans.
Right, turn 5. British, in their turn, they went second again. Managed to drive the Germans out of here with a close assault, and the survivor retreated, used company command to not need a morale check, so they stayed on the table, and elsewhere just a wee bit of harassing fire from each other, and nothing major took place. But the British have lost 7 units, and the Germans so far have lost 4, maybe 5. And I'm going to end the game when someone has 2 foobar results, so that's pretty close for the British.
Turn 6, this time the British get 2 battalion orders and 5 regular orders. The Germans are also down to 7 dice, 2 battalion orders, 2 regular orders, and 3 ones, which means that one of the companies goes hesitant. And looking at it from the British point of view, it was the company on the left hand side of the table that was hesitant.
Right, turn 6, not a great deal of action. The Germans only had 3 orders, and the company over there became hesitant. So mainly shooting these stugs in their turn. But finally the British got the initiative, and they deployed a platoon here, moved up a combat patrol. Germans in there with a medium machine gun ambushed, put a pin or a shock on them. Infantry here got hit by a mortar, and they also got a shock put on them. Managed to kill the last stand though, last section in the platoon that had been evicted from that room building the previous turn. So it's now 6 dead Germans and 7 British. So both sides are getting close to breaking.
And just from an overview, so British have advanced into this wooded area, advanced and deployed along that tree line, and that prompted the ambush up here. And there's the hesitant platoon that couldn't really do much at all. And the Germans only had 3 orders, so they were quite restricted that turn. Okay, British got 4 regular orders and 3 battalion orders. Germans got 1 battalion order, 6 regular ones. Turn 7. British rolled 3 plus 6 is 9. Germans got 8 plus 5 or 6. So the Germans took the initiative once more.
Turn 7 game is over. I forgot that attackers with recon don't count as losses, so British were actually 1 less. But the Germans concentrated their fire. British took a casualty over here, and then at the end of the turn, the German infantry in this house killed another section over here, and that brought the British to 2 foobars, which is what I decided the end of the game was going to be. But good, fun, close game. Could have gone either way. Yeah, really enjoyed that. It was good fun.
Thoroughly enjoyed that. It was a great way to spend the afternoon. Nice to get my newly painted Fallschrimjager on the table as well. Interesting comparisons between the game last week of Battle Group, which ended up being quite a slogfest. the combat patrol mechanism in this means that infantry can sneak their way forward a lot easier than I seem to be able to do currently in battle group. Different scale and different feel for the game, but yeah, really enjoy the way it plays. The decision making involved at different points of the game, really good as well. The one change I have made to the standard rules is I've decided for my home games I'm going to make the first kill test when a unit is suppressed. So in the rules you get 2 shock, then you become suppressed, then you roll to see after that whether or not you kill infantry. I'm going to do it the 2 shock. I tend to call them pins, it's just the way my brain's working after too much bolt action and stuff. And then the 3rd hit that suppresses, I'm also doing it, and I did it in this game, so that you do your first test to see if you've killed a stand or section then, and just speeds the game up ever so slightly. And that's probably the one area where I'm still not 100% certain on the game, and that's just how hard it is to kill stuff. Maybe that's accurate, but I just wanted to get the game moving along a wee bit faster, and so that's why I introduced that little change, and it seemed to work okay. So I'll probably try it in a few more games before deciding whether or not to keep it. But anyway, that's all from me for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you did, or any suggestions how to improve them. As I've said before, I'm not very technologically savvy when it comes to videos and stuff, and do it with a very basic way of doing it, but it seems to work for me. But anyway, that's enough rambling for today. Until next time, ka kite anō. Take care.